Every girl comes with a different level of brokenness and a different level of where she's at and what she believes she's capable of doing.
Oh, it was amazing. It was just like having a mum and dad that know everything about babies and pregnancy. It's great. You can just, Nagi and Glenn, it's awesome.
I treat her like my mum. I talk to her about things and yeah, she's just trusting.
On TV soap operas, teens fall pregnant all the time. It's a staple of drama. But what rarely emerges from the on-screen storylines is how difficult it is. It's difficult for the teen's parents. It's difficult for the teen. And it's difficult for the teen's baby. Teen pregnancy takes no prisoners. Everyone is touched one way or another. For Treena and Marcus van Rijssel, the idea of a home for teenage mums was originally a long way from their minds.
We were, I guess, what would you say, normal everyday people going about our business, and we were expecting our first child, and Ancha, and when she was born, it was about 6 weeks after she was born, she started developing some health problems, couldn't breathe on her own, so we rushed into hospital, and they were able to miraculously resuscitate her, but unfortunately what we found out in the days that followed was that she was born with some really big health problems, which were totally, just totally something that nobody had come across and discovered, and quite rare. And 6 weeks later, unfortunately, she died, and it was sort of a time when we decided, you go through a searching period, and that's when God started to put some things on our heart, and the House of Grace was one of those things. And we initially the vision came to Treena, and then we started to pray more and more about it, and took it to our church, and then I guess that was 10 years ago? 10 years ago? 12 years ago. There you go. Time flies. 12 years ago. So
how did that actually work out in practice? What happened?
It was a bit scary. Very much out of our depths. One of the things that when we started, people kept saying to us, so you trained midwife, what is your background? Doctor? No. But really just, it wasn't until we actually started that we realised what we were bringing to this, and that was a good marriage, a stable relationship, and we were teaching life skills.
Initially it was something that was quite, I guess it was quite different. It's not something that was available in Wellington. There had been other homes for pregnant teens around the country, but we found straight away that there was quite a big need, and regularly we're fully booked and have a waiting list. So yeah.
So tell us a bit about what you do here.
So we're actually a home for pregnant teenagers, where it's a safe environment where they can come and live and learn life skills. So they learn basic things like cooking and budgeting, how to run a home, personal hygiene, and then also support on the decision they make, whether they choose to adopt out their child or choose to parent. And then if they choose to parent, we equip them with life skills to parent their child. And we teach them to be the parent. We don't take over. We actually equip them so that when they go out into the community, they can go out successfully as good mums.
Insect repellent in it, because I hated putting sunscreen on and then spraying insect repellent, and it would go slimy. It's always sunscreen, because it goes slimy.
You feel horrible though. So you can go out there and know you're not going to be like, oh, what this baby needs. I tried,
but yeah, she did try. But I think, grabbing hold of just everything that's offered.
Natalie Joyce and her husband Glenn have been house parents at the House of Grace for more than 3 years. Natalie takes the role of surrogate mum for the teenage girls, but has her own role as a mum to cope with as well.
An average day for us would be we try and homeschool in the morning, and then doing what we need to do, kind of doing what we need to do together as a family. There's often swimming or gymnastics or meetings for the House of Grace, or you know, it's kind of, it is a normal average day like most families would have. Yeah, but you add a little bit of homeschooling into it, and you add a few extra teenagers and babies, and that's normal for us now. So I kind of don't know any different anymore. I didn't think that we would be house parents, ever called to be house parents, but God had a different plan. He had skilled us in ways that it was pretty much, this was exactly where we needed to be. And I just wouldn't be anywhere else now. We applied for the position and then found out we were pregnant. So we didn't think that it was all going to go through. I'll tell you later. Yeah. Wow. But because we didn't think we could do another baby and all that was going on, but we did. Praise the Lord. It just kind of, we just kept ticking over. We had her at about 6:30 at night and hit the ground running the next day.
I think seeing the changes in the girls' lives and having done it for quite a while, you know how they parent and what happens to them in their lives. Knowing that what they're like when they come in and where they're at, where they come in, is not the same as when they leave. I guess that's the real rewarding thing. And still being in touch with so many of them afterwards. I think there's been just over 65 girls come through the House of Grace, staying from a few weeks sometimes right through to over a year, depending on their situation. The changes in so many of them are quite, you almost can't recognise them.
The House of Grace in Wellington is a home from home designed to give young mums a chance to learn how to be a young mum. But of course, for the staff and volunteers, there's a huge emotional investment in the lives of the girls.
The emotional side of it, I think you can't go without it, because you're investing so much into each girl's and child's life. And I think if you don't have that, you can't escape it, I don't think, because they don't come in as a number. They come in as a person and they become so much a part of your family. But I always think, there actually are relationships that you actually build for a lifetime. Many of the girls have, they talk about this as their, sort of home, and that they come back and visit. We're godparents to a couple of the children, and that's exciting, to be a part of, some of them are going to school and we're still a part of their life, and very much part of the mums' lives as well.
It's just like a normal, I wouldn't say normal family, but it's just like that whole family group sort of thing, they treat me like their daughter, so if I go out I just tell Naggie and she's like, yeah, that's cool, just give me a text or something. So and she's usually homeschooling the children, so that's what our day consists of, and then usually in the afternoon we'll sit down and have lunch or something like that. It's helped me a lot, confidence-wise, in being a mother, definitely. I don't think I would be as confident if I wasn't here, but because they give you heaps of support and they just teach you so many things, and like things I didn't even know, so I think it's helped me a lot being in the House of Grace.
So I was about 20 weeks pregnant when I moved in, so pretty much you just get into the routine of just daily, just pretty much working as a family to get things done. So like we all cook, we all clean, we kind of have a roster going, and just kind of carrying on and not just moping around like, oh, I'm pregnant, I shouldn't be doing this. It's all hands on deck, obviously with consideration, but and then when baby's born, you have a couple of weeks off doing everything, just 2 weeks off doing chores and like house stuff, just so you can really focus on getting baby sorted and getting used to the old motherhood.
you're living life alongside them and they're learning as you're living. And I think especially when I was breastfeeding Arabella, you know, it eliminates all the other excuses because you're doing it as well. So the I can't do the dishes because I'm trying to breastfeed kind of falls by the wayside and flies out the window. But it definitely does because they're learning on the job while you're doing it. The biggest thing is that you feel sometimes like you're living in a fishbowl because you're constantly being watched, but you get used to that eventually.
I haven't really had much experience with babies in the past, but since I lived here, I've had a lot of experience with babies. Then I've had my whole 18 years of living sort of thing. So in 6 months, I've handled more babies than I have in 18 years. So it's a great experience, and I learn. I definitely feel a lot more comfortable with a newborn baby, whereas like before I'd sort of hold a newborn baby and sort of if they cried and it's like here you go, but now I'm definitely more comfortable and confident, so it just builds my confidence up as for when I have my son. And yeah, I think it's definitely been a great help and confident booster.
We take on as the contract full-time house parents that live on site 24/7, and you know, they have a heart for seeing, you know, it successful and to see the girls succeed in their parenting. And of course it's quite a full-on, so Marcus and I were house parents to begin with, and it's tough job, very rewarding but tough. And then since then we've had 3 sets of house parents. The house parents here at the moment they're in their third year. They've been here 3 years, into their 4 years, and just absolutely loving it, loving the busyness of it, and what they see and the fruit of it as well.
I guess that's the other question is do you, at the end of it, are you achieving what you thought you'd achieve?
Yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Probably at the beginning, I wouldn't have expected this so quick. Yeah. It was really hard at the beginning, but now I look and I sort of think this is just exactly what the vision was about, and excited to see what God's got in store for the future. Very much so.
It's about showing you that you've got the support you need and da-da-da, but there is going to be a time where you need to be strong enough to leave. Because if you learn what you need to learn and take on board what you need to, and hear like the routine, and
then you will be right.
Absolutely. I mean, both these guys have got babies that sleep through the night, so they're not these exhausted mums that can't.
And the routine totally helps. It's like knowing, so you can go out there and know you're not going to be like, oh, what does baby need?
Yeah,
it's sweet. I guess.
Mummy, it's fun.
Do you find it was easy?
Oh, it was amazing. It was just like having a mum and dad that know everything about babies and pregnancy. Yeah, like, they're so supportive, and you can just talk to them about anything, not just baby things, but pretty much everything really. Like, they're always there to talk to, and in the middle of the night, like if you just can't settle baby or need some help with feeding, or you just don't know what to do, they you can just text Naggy and she'll come up and help. And even if it's just really to hold your hand and tell you to breathe and get through this, or if it is really like helping you out, it's just awesome. And I didn't text her much, but just to know that she was there was really good. Just have someone all the time to be able to, just to, really be there for us.
For the people who work here, this is more than just a job. It's a calling, and sometimes it's difficult for them to make time for themselves. They're so busy taking care of others.
There are moments where you just can't grab hold of them, to be honest. You just kind of go, well, actually, no, this is exactly where we need to be. We do lots of date nights and we do, family things together, but it's just like having a bigger family. Like, we've just got older daughters, and they just happen to come with children quite often. So, yeah, we don't. It's just a different chaos that we live. But yeah, we really enjoy our date nights. We love those. So we get out, and quite often we have got lots of silent times because we're both exhausted and can't be bothered talking. But it's nice to have a meal somewhere else and somebody else doing the dishes. But yeah, no, we're very, very, very well supported. So yeah, it's great.
House of Grace workers like house parent Natalie Joyce bring years of experience to a tough role caring for young mums and mums-to-be.
I'd always thought that I would work alongside teenagers, but I thought I would work more in the area of domestic violence and stuff, and how that doesn't have to be lived with, and the cycle can be broken. Didn't think that it would be in a family environment that we'd be doing it, but it totally makes sense now, because a lot of the girls do come in with those kind of backgrounds and stuff. Every girl comes with a different level of brokenness and a different level of where she's at and what she believes she's capable of doing. So I think with all the girls we take on board, reassuring them and trying to encourage their self-worth and grow who they are and help them to allow God to fix that brokenness that they've come in with, and just watch them blossom is really exciting. So they come with their own individual challenges and strains and struggles, but it's fantastic to watch.
Like having the house parents' children around and seeing how they parent and the way they bring their children up really, like, it's made me know how I want to bring Elijah up, not just from a baby, but from, you know, like as a 2-year-old to a 5-year-old. And yeah, like I always think about things that they do. You know, now he's getting older and he's getting up to, well, soon we're getting up to mischief. It's like things from praise to discipline to routines to what they should be doing when, and what's fair and what's too much. Like, it's just really so helpful. It really is.
It's, I guess we run on a bit of a shoestring as well, like a lot of places like this. But we've also, just in the last year, set up a flat for some of the girls who perhaps don't have community support, family support at all. It gives them still support amongst each other. They're all in a similar situation, babies different ages, but similar sort of situation, and they can support each other. So, but no, we don't have a huge staff, and I guess volunteers are always, have to put a small plug in, I suppose. Volunteers are always welcome. It is always hard because the budget is always very tight and very much on the low side. We really need a lot of volunteers, and that's really, I guess it's the volunteers and the staff that really go well above what you normally would expect from a job.
The House of Grace is a non-profit organisation which doesn't qualify for government funding. The service is paid for by charitable trusts and financial supporters. Residents' fees are based on each girl's age and circumstances. Staff are skilled in many different areas, from early childhood education to business skills.
You know, this is where the rubber hits the road, and this is the Bible with skin on. And a lot of the other girls, you know, they've never seen that in their lives, and they've never experienced that. They've never been allowed that opportunity to grow and trust in Him. So I know for us, it's been allowing God to work in the good and the bad in yourself, because we're not perfect. We're absolutely far from perfect. There are still days where we can, you know, growl at our children and lose the plot with our husbands and wives. You know, thanks, sons.
Only kidding.
You know, so being able to show them forgiveness and love and acceptance and what family looks like without the yelling and the screaming and the abuse and the swearing and all that, you know, and what it looks like to live a life with God in the centre, I think is really important. And that's what we've been called to do. We've been called to be Jesus in the flesh and walk the gospel truth out in everyday life. And when you've got people living in your home, then you got to do it, man. Rubber hits the road big time.